Well, the nation's premier pro-faith and pro-family event is happening this week in Washington. Faith and Freedom Coalition's annual Road to Majority kicks off in 2 days and will feature many of the Republican presidential candidates. Among them, Donald Trump, Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, and Tim Scott. Road to Majority highlights top issues for evangelical voters. And Tim Head is the executive director for the Faith and Freedom Coalition, and he joins us now in studio. Tim, welcome. Good to have you with us.
It's always a treat to be with you, Jenna, and thanks so much for talking about what we believe is going to be a vibrant weekend of speakers, presidential candidates, as you mentioned, but a lot of other policymakers from across the country. We think it's going to be very encouraging.
Yeah, you have a lot of big names sharing one stage. There's sure to be some fireworks maybe. But, we mentioned top issues for evangelicals. Tim, what do you see those as currently?
Well, there are certain what I would just call evergreen policy issues that I think at this point, after 50 years of living under Roe versus Wade, it's hard for most Bible-believing Christians and voters to think about a whole lot other than the abortion question. While the Dobbs decision didn't end Roe versus Wade, it certainly shifted that dialogue from more of a federal issue to a state-level issue. But listen, the questions related to religious liberty and religious freedom are certainly top of mind. Who can really ignore the culture, the woke culture that we're living in? Anybody that shops at Target probably has an opinion right now on some of their product sales. And I think that we're also looking at a lot of questions around the justice system that for most of us that haven't necessarily dealt with the justice system ourselves, we kind of have an arm's length opinion. But when you see, at this point, globally discussed issues around impropriety and maybe malfeasance even among the justice system, that becomes a really prevailing question for a lot of us.
Yeah. So we mentioned a lot of the names: Donald Trump, Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis, just to name a few. What's your sense among evangelical voters? How much support does Donald Trump still have compared to 2016 and 2020?
Sure, great question. Look, I mean, his record as president, clearly speaks for itself. I mean, it's really kind of it still is remarkable to, I think, to a lot of Americans writ large, and certainly a lot of evangelical and Catholic voters, that he was able to make the impact on the Supreme Court that he was, and of course he deserves a ton of credit for that. But I think that there remains some kind of stylistic questions, if you will, so personality and kind of word choice that he has, and those probably, I think you kind of see what you get what you see, or you see what you get, and yeah. I think that that probably is not going to change anytime soon with him.
Yeah, we should mention Road to Majority doesn't have a horse in this race, and in the primary at least. Just a few seconds left, but I want to get your thoughts on all of this Hunter Biden news that we're seeing come out. Maybe just a thought on that.
Well, back to that justice question, I think that I'll say even more broadly, we're seeing a lot of erosion of trust in our institutions in the United States, whether that be medical institutions, universities, certainly the justice system, and I think it's really paramount for, over the Supreme Court right here in Washington, D.C., it reads equal justice under law. We think that it's really important that this administration, the Biden administration, really demonstrate that very clearly in the coming months.
All right, Tim Head with the Faith and Freedom Coalition. Always good to see you. Thank you for coming in.